Oh, yeah.
I'm glad I opened up. Girl, what is it?
Anything missing?
It's not a backpack over. I don't see one. Oh, right there.
Hi, Power fans and surrounding areas. It's Wednesday, and that's podcast Wednesday. And today we have two podcasts scheduled. It's going to be our basketball podcast, and usually this podcast we come on at 6:30, but today we wanted to come in 30 minutes earlier, as Coach has two of his RF Lady Pirates varsity players to come on. You can see them on the screen. I'll introduce him here in just a bit. I'll have a few questions for them. They are a little nervous. A lot of the ladies don't come on the podcast a lot, but ladies, I appreciate you coming on and spending a few minutes here with me. I'll have a few questions. They won't be hard to talk about your program. And so I'll introduce the coach because I told Coach Gonzales that I'll have questions for the ladies first. So they're on the screen. And then once we let them go, then Coach Gonzales will come on and I'll give him all of the hard questions. So again, this is the Rockport-Fulton Lady Pirates podcast 2024. It's episode number 2. And ladies, the first thing I want to do before I introduce you is congratulate you on the win last night versus George West. Congratulations, you ladies played great. I thought it's the first time of many live streams that we're going to do this year for you. And the one thing that caught my eye was the guys played with a lot of energy. George West made a little run toward the end at number 1, but the Lady Pirates made some shots when they needed and got the victory. They are now they won the last 2 games, so hopefully that's a roll. They will be traveling to, I believe, Calallen next and here tomorrow, I guess, to the tournament. But I'll have those questions for Coach. So on the screen, we got the 2 seniors. The one to the left is Annika Guerrero. Annika, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for coming on, spending a few minutes here on the podcast. And then right next to her, we have another senior, Callie Darnold. Callie, how you doing?
Doing good.
All right. And so we're live. The ladies know that we're live, so that's why they get a little nervous. But just there'll be easy questions, and I'm going to be real truthful here. And Annika, I'll start with you. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, your name. I know I said your first name, but if you want to give us your last name, your full name, and then what is your jersey number?
I'm Annika Guerrero. My jersey number is number 4.
There you go. And what position do you play?
I'm a shooting guard.
Shooting guard. And Callie, what is your jersey number and what position do you play?
My name's Callie Darnold. I'm number 14 and I'm a power forward.
Power forward. Yeah, I love the post. I saw you and also I saw Allie, I think is she's a sophomore. So Megan's in there as well. So we got some tough girls inside. I think we can bully some of these teams around that we're going to be playing up here. At least I hope so. Annika, I'll start with you. So how did you get involved in basketball? I mean, like at what age did you start playing basketball and how long have you been playing the sport?
I've been playing it since you would be allowed to in Little League. And I fell in love with it and I just never stopped playing.
That's awesome. Do you play any other sports there for Rockport outside of basketball?
I used to play volleyball, but I didn't this year, and I might play softball.
That'll be good. We'll be
Thank you
covering
about it.
softball this year. That'll be awesome if you get out there with the Lady Pirates. There's been a lot of success there for the softball team with Coach Reyes. So we'll be looking forward to see if you join the team. I know, let's talk a little bit about last night's game, Annika. Like that's the first time I'd seen the Lady Pirates this year play. I know last year I saw a couple of games, really young team last year, different coach. So I knew there was a lot of freshmen. It was a learning process. But last night, you girls played tough, especially defensively, because that's what caught my eye. A lot of energy. You guys look like you're well conditioned. I don't know if that's through the off season or if what Coach Gonzales is putting y'all through here early on, but you guys really looked good. I didn't see you guys breathing hard at all in the 4th period. I mean, you guys probably could have gone another game. I love the substitution that the coach, I think, kept y'all fresh, bringing in another unit, and then one unit sits, and that worked really well. And it looks like we don't miss a beat. The either unit that's on the court, the chemistry seems to be building, getting really good, and both units played with a lot of energy. Let's talk a little bit about the game. your thoughts on the way your team performed. You got the win, but how do you feel your team performed? You and your team performed offensively and defensively last night.
I think we did really good, especially defensively, because we specifically worked on boxing out and help defense the practice right before, and we actually implemented it into the game. And well, shocker, shocker, it worked really well. And I think as the season has already gone on, we've already made a lot of progress and built a lot more team chemistry that we needed. And I just think it was an all-around good game, but definitely one of our best games that we've played this whole season.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, offense wins games. They say defense wins championships, and so you got to have a good defense, right? Especially in basketball, it's such a quick sport. You don't really have time like baseball or volleyball where you can kind of think. You get the ball, you got to know quickly. You're going to shoot, you're going to pass. What are you going to do? It's kind of like instinct. So it's a little bit of a fast-paced sport, other than like softball, baseball, or anything like that. So it's a little tougher to play. But I thought you guys played really well. I enjoyed the game, enjoyed watching you guys play. You got a tournament coming up now tomorrow. Girls really probably celebrated the win last night, and then it was back to work today. And then tomorrow, you guys will be on the road to Calallen. You guys, I think we'll play Thursday, Friday, and we'll see what happens on Saturday. I believe I don't have the teams, but Annika, what do you know about Calallen? I mean, you guys are going to be facing some tougher teams. Calallen, a little bit of a bigger school, 4A Division One, but what do you know about that tournament and some of the teams, if any, that you know that you'll be playing against?
We're playing against Raymondville first tomorrow at 2 o'clock, and we know that they have one good girl that's like really she's good at boxing out. She can shoot mid-range threes. She's just an all around probably their best player. Holds all their like scoring records and all that. So we know
Wow.
that we have to isolate her. So we've been working on isolating her and helping out.
That's awesome. It's going to be a good tournament. Whatever the outcome is in this tournament, I think it's going to make us better. We're going to see some good teams, obviously, right? And you're talking about this girl, and that's good. Hopefully, we get the W. But I think as you guys are learning, and I've had Coach Gonzales on the last podcast, and he talked about what he wants to implement, and it's going to take some time for you girls to kind of understand what he wants from the team. But when you play these teams, you're definitely going to get better. It's going to make us better. And look, when we get into district, right? District is tough. I mean, you got Sinton. I don't know about the other teams, Beeville. They're usually pretty good. So I think it's going to be this non-district is going to really help us out when we get over to district. Callie, I'd ask you the same thing. Dick, I want to get your thoughts on last night's game, the post game. I did see toward like in the fourth quarter, you guys were doing a lot. The passing kind of started off a little slow, but then in that fourth quarter, we got some great passing. Got some good layups, got some good rebounds from our post. Just your thoughts on the way your team played overall.
I think we're doing good at kind of keeping our energy through the entire game. Obviously, we have our lows, but we're doing good of not having starting strong and then ending weak. Like we're doing good of just using that throughout. We're also just doing better about seeing offenses and being able to know what's going to work and adjusting to defense and things like that and being able to communicate better.
That's awesome. Talk to me a little bit about the chemistry. You guys, some of you guys didn't play last year, right? It's I mean, you guys came out. It's great when the players come out and want to play all different types of sports. But talk a little bit about this team's chemistry. We're still early in the season. What's that chemistry been like for some of the seniors, juniors, and then we've got some younger players.
Yeah, I think all the returning varsity players are kind of all on the same level as like we're gonna welcome anybody. Everybody earned a spot on the team. We're all playing on the same level, so we're gonna treat each other all the same. So we get along super great. We know how to help each other and we know when to kind of back off and cool off from each other. Like we know each other really well and we work together well.
You know what I saw last night from a lot of the players? They were laughing, having fun, right? Like
Mm.
when I was calling the game, I was thinking to myself, I said, look at these, they're just laughing. Like if you just like hanging out, it's a game, right? And you got to get serious. but at times some of the players they were just laughing at some crazy stuff that was going on, and then I'd see the other player for our other player laughing, and I thought, wow, these girls are just having some fun. Like it's fun for them, right? Whether it's a close game or not, and that was great to see. You don't always see that from the teams. But you guys were just having fun, a lot of laughing. It's stuff that just was happening that wasn't even part of the game, and I was like, "Wow, it's really nice to see." And I thought that was huge in telling me as a fan the chemistry, everybody kind of gets along, and that's great to see. I'd like to get your thoughts on the upcoming tournament. You heard what Annika had to say, but I want to get your thoughts. What are you looking for from your team to get outside of the wins? I know you guys want to get the wins, but what do you want to see from your team get better as you play in this Calallen tournament?
I think we all know there's going to be definitely some tough competition. We all been kind of watching film on that and taking notes on that and things like that. And I just think that we're well prepared for that, and obviously hoping to go in and get some wins. But if we don't, I think we all just kind of know like we learn from the losses, and we're going to learn from the tough competition, and we're going to use it throughout the season more.
Absolutely. If you haven't come out to see the advice, you got to come out. It's a lot of fun. They're working hard. Coach Gonzales, first year here at Rockport, implementing, putting some things in. It's going to take some time for the girls to kind of understand what Coach Gonzales wants from him. But Coach Reyes has been here for quite some time. And she played basketball. I had her on the podcast. We usually have her when she's doing softball, right? But I got to know Coach, and she has a lot of her background's in basketball, right? Like, so she knows a lot about basketball. So I think that's really great for our program to have an assistant coach like that knows the game and can come in and help Coach Gonzales and help the girls. Our JV and our freshmen, they've been good for the last couple of years. I mean, I think when I got there, our JV was playing. I looked at the score. I think it was our JV, and I think it was a JV, and they were winning like 35-9 or something. It was like, wow. And coaches talked on his last podcast about the games that they have won. Annika, I'll go back to you. So if I was to ask you, and I'm sorry if you don't want to answer, it's fine, but for people who don't know you, like I don't know you, what's one thing about Annika that maybe people don't know that you can tell us?
Um, when I'm playing basketball, I might look a little rude. I might be unapproachable, but I'm actually quite nice and I will not be rude to anybody. So that's something to know.
I did notice that. Not that you were rude, because I don't think you were rude, but I did notice that you had this serious look. I kind of watched the girl, so I was like, "Wow, yeah, it looks like when you're playing the game, right? You're tuned in, and at times I could see your face, but it was more of a serious face, like I'm serious. It's time to get down." And so I did see that. So that's something that we know about Annika now. And Callie, I'd ask you the same thing. Something about Callie Darnold that people who don't know you or people wouldn't know about you.
Um, I'd say this is hard. On and off the court, I like to enjoy what I'm doing. So during the game, I like to obviously have our serious moments when we need to focus, but I also just like to have fun and like really make memories and enjoy what I'm doing. I like to have fun with the stuff I'm doing, I guess.
Yeah, that's important, ladies, to have fun. Because if you don't have fun, then it doesn't. It becomes all kinds of other things start to add up. Right, no matter what happens, you got to love the game. Obviously, you guys love the game of basketball, but continue to have fun through practice, building those relationships with your coaches and your teammates, and continue to play hard. And if you leave it out on the court, you're going to win more times that you didn't. But I was really happy. I enjoyed the game yesterday. I thought I took a look at George West because that's what I do. I kind of watched them and I watch us, and then I kind of said, this is going to be very competitive for people that don't know. It's going to be a really good game. And I thought we got buckets when we needed to. They made a run. That number one got a little hot in the fourth quarter and brought that team back. But and that was the thing I wanted to see. You guys kept your composure. You didn't panic. I got to ask you, number 15, what is her name? She's the little sister of Ariana, I think.
Amaya.
Amaya. Okay, so I know Ariana. I actually know the family. I didn't know her till I saw her with her mom after the game. But Ariana's been on. She plays soccer. She's been on our podcast. I had heard about the little sister. I'd never seen her, but a lot of people told me she's very athletic. You know, when she plays, She plays with a calmness. I mean, she doesn't change her mood. I mean, you can be on her and her face expression doesn't change. And she's just so calm and so balanced. I really, really enjoyed watching her play. I just thought for being a sophomore, she was just really good together, a lot of confidence, and she just doesn't move. You can't like when she's playing, she's in a zone and you can't get her out of that zone, her thinking process. So I didn't know her name, but when I saw her with the mom, I said, "Oh, that's the little sister." So I think she's going to be really, really good, young, but I think she's going to be a great player. Well, thank you for coming on. I'm not going to keep you guys any longer. You've had a long day at school, obviously, and then your practice. But we'll leave it with this. I'll give you guys the final thought. Anything you want to add? Any shout outs you want to give to family members? People are watching now or will be watching later on. I share the podcast to my other social media platforms. So, Annika, I'll start with you. Anything you want to add, a shout out you want to give before we let you go?
Um, I would like to add that Coach Gonzales has also instilled our minds with a lot of confidence, and that a lot of confidence we didn't have last year. And I think that's really made a difference with the way we like handle the ball and have confidence to shoot when we're open, no matter what. And I like to give a shout out to Coach Reyes. She's the best coach I've ever had. Love you, Coach Ray.
Yeah. Yeah, she's good. Before I go to Cali, that is another thing I saw early on, right? You guys were just shooting. Like you were open. Coach Gonzales said, "Hey, look, this is what I want to see." And he wasn't lying. I mean, you girls were just shooting them. And I said, I told myself, eventually some are going to fall. They just are, right? But it's good to see that. I think it helps you girls as you play in the district. You get that mindset starting now. Shoot the ball. If we don't shoot, we can't win. We're not going to score, right? So you got to take that chance. And I think that builds confidence. And Annika, I did see that too. That was the other thing I saw was, man, these girls just shoot. If you're not in my face, it's going up. And that was great to see. Callie, your turn. Any shout outs, any final thoughts you want to give before we let you go?
I'm just excited for the upcoming season. I think coming out of last year, it was a little, it was a little rocky. So, I just think that all the coaching staff works really well together to really teach us what we need to, like during practice, we do what we need to do. We work on certain things that we need to work on, and it shows in the game. And I think we're just going to improve a lot this season. I'm excited.
Absolutely. And again, we'll catch more of the games. We got soccer coming on, so we're going to be everywhere, but we're definitely going to catch more of the Lady Pirates live streams. You can check it out. We'll create a post and let you know on our Facebook and Twitter page where we'll be, what games we'll be streaming. The ladies will be traveling tomorrow to Calallen. They got a couple of days going up there, so I'll get with Coach Gonzales and see what the results are, or maybe he'll let me know after the tournament. But good luck, ladies, and continue to play hard. I enjoyed the game and looking forward to catching more of your games. And hopefully we stay injury free and we give them a good run there in the playoffs. So hopefully you ladies will come back. It's a long season. So hopefully Coach will bring you guys back before the season ends. But two of our seniors here on the podcast, Annika Guerrero and Callie Darnold, thank you very much. Good luck tomorrow, and we'll talk to you ladies soon.
Thank you.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Coach Gonzales, well, I got to ask you to respond before we get started. You heard what Annika said there, the girls, that's big because you're new here. You were doing football. They've noticed you've had an impact on them already from last year. They're telling it here on the podcast, what you bring and how you're helping them out. When you hear your players say that about you, man, how does that make you feel?
It makes it all worth it. You hope that you reach out and you do your best to make a difference. And that's all you can do as a coach is you try to guide them to make good choices you try to teach them through athletics. And that's the platform that I use. And that's a platform that was big in my life growing up and taught me a lot of value and lessons in life. And I'm just trying to return it because I had some coaches along the way that had a big impact on my life, and it's the reason why I coach today. So I'm hoping to return that, and it continues, and the ripple effect continues from all those coaches that, whether I coached with or coach or played for. So that's it's good to hear that coming from my players. So Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Keep doing a great job, Coach. I know Coach Reyes, and we hear about the coaches that we have this year. And I got to tell you, when you go around town, you don't hear any. At least I haven't heard anything bad. Everybody loves the coaches, love Coach Sosa, love what he's bringing, what his assistant coaches are bringing, and what we're doing. And so I think this is going to be great. Hopefully, we can keep you guys around for quite some time to continue to build our program. Is going to be great. Coach, let's talk a little bit about last night's game. As you heard me talk to the ladies, there was the 3-point. They were shooting it. I mean, there was no hesitation. They knew right off the bat, if I'm open, I'm shooting. If it don't go in and I'm open again, I'm going to shoot it. I thought that is something we didn't see from a Rockport team. I mean, I followed Rockport for many years, and that is not something that I have always seen, kind of pass the ball a little bit. Last night's game, these girls were just lighting it up. And I think when you gave them the green light, knowing coach is giving me the green light to shoot it, I think helps build confidence in them that if they miss it, they can come back and shoot again. It's not like I shoot, oh, I missed it. Now I'm going to hesitate. You're giving them the green light. Look, if you're open, you shoot it. We saw that last night. The defense coach, I mean, you got all the players, I think, were very conditioned. I wasn't seeing anybody breathing hard in the fourth quarter. But you have a couple of these girls that just bring the energy nonstop. I like the units coming back and forth. I thought they kept them fresh. But overall, what a great win. Congratulations. You're now won the last 2 games. Want to get your thoughts on just what you saw from the Lady Pirates and their performance against George West.
Last night was good for us, especially that first half. I mean, it continued throughout the game, but we I guess it was toward the end of the first quarter, maybe the beginning of the second quarter. I turned to Coach Reyes and the other coaching staff, and I'm like, I can see the light now. I can see the light. I can see the defense starting to click, and it's all starts off with defense. And we put a high premium on defensive side of it, and we spent a lot of time at practice fine tuning it and continue to work on it, our weaknesses defensively, to get better. But last night was the first night where I felt that we were consistent defensively in our execution. And it's going to take games like that throughout district where we're going to have to bring a strong defensive performance every game to give us a chance. Because and I explained to him earlier, there's going to be times where those shots are falling, and that's going to be great, and it's going to be big help. And there's going to be times like last night where they're not falling, but if you play great defense, it's going to give you a chance still to play to win at the end of the game. And it's even better when you're playing great defense and your shots are falling. You can beat pretty much anybody if you can get to that point. And ultimately, that's our goal. Is playing at a high level defensively, offensively by the time we get to district, and hopefully peak at the right time, getting close to playoff time where we're playing our best basketball. But the hardest thing right now for me is being patient because it does take time to install an offense and install a defense and getting the kids to buy in and understand the philosophy and why we do what we do. But it's starting to come together. Like I'm saying, I'm starting to see the light finally is when I turn to the coaches because it gets frustrating as a coach when you're repping it and coaching it and teaching it and you're watching film and you rep it and you rep it and you go down and you watch film and okay, we got to fix this, we got to fix that, and you rep it and you rep it. And then last night was the first night where it was like, okay, all right, there it is. Now we're starting to figure it out. You can see the light bulbs start to turn on with the girls, and they're asking. Now you can tell with the questions that they're asking that those wheels are turning. They're starting to understand it and getting a deeper understanding of what we're doing, and so it's a good sign. So it's something to build on, definitely.
Yeah, and the other thing was they were having fun. I mean, they were having fun. You could see on top of the just playing, the game was getting close, and they were still laughing, and just you could just see they were just real relaxed and playing. You could tell they were having a good time, and you always hear coaches say that, you want to play, you want to win. but you want to have some fun as well while you're playing. And the girls were laughing and they were having fun. And I thought, wow, this is really good to see. On just outside of just the competition of the game and the teams playing against each other, you could see them. They wanted to be out there. They want to play for Rockport, right? They want to play for each other. They want to play for their school, and that's great, you know. They kind of see a difference from last year to this year, right? In their own words, they see a huge difference. And so, kudos to you, coach, and to your assistants for a short time that you've been with our basketball program. The impact that you've had really should excite myself, which it does, but the Pirate fans, right, to come out and see that we're going to put a new system, and then it's really going to get these girls to play at a higher level, better, but to understand the game of basketball. So I think we're off to a great start. We beat Woodsboro and we beat George West, and you know, people say, well, you still got to play these teams, but that's a good start. You got to start somewhere, and we're winning the games that we're supposed to win, and that's good to see. Now you travel over tomorrow. You're going to be in the Calallen tournament. There's some schools probably from the Valley, so this is going to be. It sounds like some really good teams out at this tournament. Talk to us a little bit about this tournament. You start tomorrow. I think you play through Friday. And what do you know about some of the teams that you're going to be facing in that Calallen tournament?
Well, it's pool play. So tomorrow we start off with Raymondville, which they have a girl that's averaging 25 points a game. Uh, and she does a little bit of everything because we got some film on her, and she's rebounding the ball, she's outletting the ball, she's playing defense, she's blocking shots. She's a tall girl, uh, and she's shooting a 3-pointer, and she's has a post up game. Um, she's very capable and very good scorer. Um, and this Cal Allen tournament, it's a big tournament, so it draws a lot of uh, schools outside of the area. So we'll see teams from San Antonio area because our in our pool we got Raymondville, us, and Schertz Clemens. Um, Let me look at my bracket real quick, and then but like I said, it's a large tournament, and they'll put teams from everywhere. Cornerstone is a private school out of San Antonio, and they're really good. They get some kid. Alamo Heights will be in there. Killeen Edison, which is a large school, coming. They'll be there. Weatherford, La Jolla from the Valley. We got a team Midland.
Mm.
I'm not sure which Midland. Midland Lee. I think it's Midland High because it's just Midland. Will be there. Central Heights, which I'm not even sure where they're from. They may be from Houston. Uh, Dripping Springs, Victoria East, West Oso, who's usually pretty tough. They're in there. Eagle Pass, Hidalgo, and there's some familiar schools like London, Kingsville, Ray, but they're all competitive schools. Moody will be in there, and they're usually pretty athletic. Beeville will be in there. Sinton will be in there. So there's some familiar faces, but some schools that we're going to see some D1 talent in there, and we're going to be exposed to some really talented girls, and we're going to see some schools that are typical teams that go to the regional tournament or go to state. So it's going to be a great experience. I'm excited for the girls to be able to witness that, number one, and being able to be exposed to that, to see a high level of basketball. And then we go out there and get after it. And I want to see them compete, and it's going to make us better for sure.
Absolutely. And what's going to be a tough district, I think, can be a very competitive district. So playing in these tournaments, we get something out of it. Obviously, we want to win, but we want to see how we can compete or the things that we need to work on to be able to compete with some of these teams. Because some of these teams you mentioned are bigger schools, but they come with a lot of experience. So it's going to be really good for us to see how we can fare, how we play. But it's going to teach us a lot of what we need to work on as well. So that's going to be a good tournament for us. As I was coming into the game yesterday, Coach, I think the JV was playing the first game. So I think it was our JV girls, and correct me if I'm wrong, and then it was the varsity girls, and then it was the boys. Was that the JV team that I saw? So I don't know. I got there a little late, but uh, there was I saw the score like 35-9. I don't know. They were really getting a win. Talk a little bit about the other levels what did you see from the junior varsity and freshman teams last night taking on their teams, the opponents?
Well, our JV group is doing a good job. They get after it. They're real scrappy and they're fun to watch. They're actually really fun to watch because I love the effort that they give, the intensity, the fire that they play with, and they're all over the floor. They're going for loose balls and they're playing hard. And I think that's an ultimate as a coach as you that's really what you want to see. Anytime I can coach a kid and love coaching kids that do that. I'd rather coach a kid like that that's going to be scrappy and play hard and have a great attitude as to oppose that one that's very talented and has so much potential but gives very little effort. And then there's one non-negotiable to our program, and it's your effort that you give. Okay, because there's only one person that controls that, and that's you. So that leave that on the responsibility of the athlete to give great effort, and that's the standard that we're trying to set here with the program. And the JV has really taken off with it, and I think that's what's been the biggest difference for them is the effort that they play with. And it's fun to watch because they are so scrappy and they play hard. So I hope they continue to develop and get ready. Yesterday, George West came to town and they were short one team. So our freshman team didn't get to play yesterday. So it was just the JV and then the varsity that played. Um, but that JV group is a young group. It's headed up and by Lucy and Molly and Layla, who are the sophomores of the group. Still, they're young sophomores, and they're there uh, developing on the JV. And there's some freshmen mixed in there that complement their leadership with that JV team. So future looks bright coming up, and in that freshman team, they're getting their practice in, and when we go against these larger schools, will be great because they usually carry three teams. So our freshmen will have those extra opportunities to play and get those games in and get their time on the floor to shine.
Absolutely. And our middle school, have they how many games have they played and what are they doing down there?
They have a game here against Robstown, and this would be I think their third game, and I don't have all the records in front of me, but we have some losses in the program, some wins. A team, B team, seventh grade, A team, B team. The eighth grade, we got C team also working their practice and getting their in squad scrimmage in when they're called upon. So we got a lot of girls coming up, a lot of girls in the program, which is great, and so it's what we need. Numbers, especially at the lower division, getting their practice in and getting working their fundamentals, and the coaches at the junior high are doing a good job of trying to manage all that, and it's a task to manage that large number of girls and then get them the practice that they need, the reps that they need, and then get them the minutes that they need on the floor. So what we do during the season is a lot of work, and then but what we got to get to a point here in Rockport is that it's those hidden minutes that we need to find outside of the season, with some leagues, some summer ball, some open gym, that type of deal. But that'll come after the season, where we get still those hidden minutes, and those are the minutes that make the biggest difference when it comes to ball games. But they're doing a great job. The numbers are there. The talent is there because there's a lot of skilled kids, and I get to the junior high practices, and I'll come and watch, and I need to get to a point where I'm able to work with them a little bit more. But the coaches are having them run through drills and handling the ball and working on their skills and their development at a young age. And the future looks bright again, even at that level, bringing them up and um, being part of the tradition.
Yeah, and that's exciting to hear. The numbers are really exciting to hear because that's what we want to do, right? We want kids to be playing multiple sports, I would imagine, but to be able when a coach comes and say, look, I've got this many numbers at the middle school level. It's exciting. Hopefully they stay with the program. I know one thing that we talk about uh, here on the Pirates Cove, the crew when we get together is, to be competitive. Not to have one group in any sport to be really good for 1 or 2 years and then we drop right back for the next 4 or 5 years, right? It's like how can we, be competitive every year, in every sport, and so that's always been the talk for us. And how can we be a part of the community? What do the coaches need from us as a community to be able to do? I look at some of the programs around this area that are good in multiple sports. And the community is just 100% bought in, not just the coaches with the kids, but the community that bought in. We keep the hype up, and that's what we want to do. Play our part in this to help the coaches and the players to support to come out and want to play, right? Get our best athletes to be out there, everyone, and not just our best athletes, but people that want to learn the game and get better, especially at the young ages. Those are our future, and that's why I focus so much on trying to let the community know what's coming up. Get out there to the middle school. Don't wait till varsity and then we're coming there. Let's go ahead and support our junior varsity. What can I do? Can I get out to the middle school? How many times can I get out there to stream the game to show that talent? And so, do they, coach? I know they play. Do they play on Mondays? And I want to know so I can make a schedule to get out there. Do they play mostly on Mondays, on Thursdays? What are their game days mostly?
Well, it's fixed to transition to Mondays. This is going to be a Thursday game tomorrow for them against Robstown. And then the girls they transition to Mondays, so they'll have Kingsville next Monday, and then from then on out, it's going to be Monday evenings where the junior high is playing, whether home or away. Um, so the transition is this week until next week, where they switch to Mondays, unless they have like a tournament that week, then it would typically be a weekend deal or a Thursday Friday deal type of deal, but. Other than outside the tournaments, it's going to be starting next week on Mondays.
So tomorrow they play. Is that a home game or is that out in Robstown?
Yes, our eighth graders are playing here. I know because my daughter is in eighth grade, and I know she plays here because this is going to be her first game with the group here, and I'm gonna miss it because I'll be in Calallen. So my wife's going to be here for that. But the junior high, I'm just double check because I don't want to tell you something wrong. So much going on. So home game against Robstown. I'm looking. I'll have to look at my schedule as far as who's playing where, as far as times and that type of deal. But I'm sure coach is going to share that on Sports U and also on sports social media stuff. And I know the parents have their schedule already out, but I just don't have it in front of me right now as far as specific.
If you get a chance, if you can email it to me, I like to get there. I like to be able to plan because one thing we want to do, we were able to get out there. We want to continue to get out there to do the high school, but I know it's also important. We talked about getting into that middle school when we have the opportunity and get down there and stream as many games as we can. That is our goal. Now we do have to, so they won't be on the games. They will not, the varsity games, they will not stay on like we have before. So they'll stay on for about 24 hours and then we'll bring that back down. That's just the way that when Coach Gonzales and I talked is the way the arrangement was made. So you won't see it in a week from now. We'll be about 24 hours. I'll take a look at it, make my notes, and then it will come down. And then the next game, of course, we'll stream it. It'll be up there for about 24 hours, but then it does need to come down. So I just wanted to let everyone know that was the arrangement that was made. That's the way Coach Gonzales wanted it done. So that's the way it's going to be for reasons that I think people know, Coach. But definitely it was a great game, and we're looking to get out there. Hopefully, I can get out there tomorrow and stream some of the middle school games as well. That is the future Lady Pirates, so we definitely want to start showcasing them on our network as well.
Right.
Coach, I tell you this, but I wanted to start something new here. I wanted to go with the younger players on varsity, moving them up and just kind of get your thoughts. If it's too early, let me know and we'll wait a couple more weeks. But I wanted to just kind of throw a name out there, basketball player, and just kind of get your thoughts and let the community know what you see from this player, the growth that you've seen. I know it's still early on, but what are some of the things that excite you about this? Is that something we can do now, or do you want to wait a couple more weeks?
No, we can do that. I've been working with them for about a month and a half now, so I have a pretty good understanding, and no, so we can do it now. Yeah.
Okay, coach. The first one, I'm going to go from kind of like the younger and work my way up. We've got plenty of time to get to all of the players. Let's talk about the freshman Logan Wood. I've always been interested in players that are able to make varsity. That tells me coaches see a lot in them. It's just not from one year. You're seeing middle school when they get into middle school. You're seeing the work that's being put in. Coaches talk and say, "Hey, I think she can have an impact on varsity." For her to be able to make varsity a volleyball and varsity a basketball, and I know her talents are through softball. So this is really exciting to see a young athlete here in Rockport being able to play at the highest level you can play in high school at such a young age. Talk to us a little bit about Logan Wood and what is it that you see from her that makes her such a great player because I saw her last night. She was having a lot of fun, but she's playing with girls that are about three years, possibly 4 years older than her, and yet she's able to make an impact. It just seems like she's just so much advanced, further than her age. What can you tell us about her?
Well, there's a lot of factors that go into it, and one thing I noticed about Logan is her work ethic. She's a hard worker. Yeah, she's development wise, she's faster than most freshmen. She can jump higher than most freshmen. Uh, her strength development is a little bit more advanced than most freshmen, so that kind of stands out. But the thing that stood out the most is her work ethic. She's a hard worker, and I know she's gonna develop because of what I've seen through volleyball and what I've seen up to this point is that she's only gonna get better from here on out. She's young, so she makes her rookie mistakes, and she'll. But the thing is, she's gonna fix them because I know she's gonna work at it and work at her weaknesses to make those weaknesses her strengths, and and uh uh and she's mature about those weaknesses. There's a lot of athletes that if you call out their weakness, they'll be like, well, it's because of this, or it's what they make an excuse, or they try to not deal with it. If you go to Logan and like, hey, your ball handling needs to get better. Yes, sir, coach. I'm going to work on it. And then there she goes. Anytime she's working ball handling drills, and she's improving her game. She don't making excuses. She's very coachable and she works hard. So just those two alone is a good start and a good ingredients for something great.
That's awesome, and I hear great things about her. I was hearing great things about her when she was in middle school. I went to stream a baseball game last year, and the middle school was having their final track, I think, and I wasn't watching because I was streaming the game, but I could hear the announcer there at Pirate Stadium, and she every I think event that she was in, she was his second or first Logan Wood. I mean, I just heard her name like 4 or 5 times, and I was like, wow, she's just like you said, to get to that point, you have to be able to put the work in. And it's great to see that. And I think it's great. The reason I ask you is because the coaches see what we don't see, right? Parents know, coaches see it, but the community doesn't know. And wanted to give the coaches is something I started doing on the podcast so that the coach can really kind of focus every podcast. Coach, I'll bring up a name of one of his players, and coach will give us what he sees because we don't get to see that. We only get to see what we see at the game. And sometimes they have a bad game, right? And you go one game and you see that player, they didn't have a best game. And, people will say, oh, they're not as good as they thought. But coaches see the good and the bad. They see the work. I've always said this, Coach Gonzales, is that when the season ends, everybody goes, right? Waits till next year. that's when the work begins. That's when the early morning and the work starts, and the coaches see it and the time that's put in. And that's something we don't see. And that's something that doesn't get talked about. The other thing is, what do they do around the community? We know what they are and we know what we see, but there's so much more to that player than just what we see on the court. You know, how are they in the classroom, their leaderships? What do they do in the community? And I think that's the kind of stuff that I also want to start bringing out this year when we talk about these players, right? It's just not what we see, but what else is there? And coaches are right there seeing it all, seeing the good, seeing the bad, seeing the tears. But then you guys get to see the struggles, and then you get to see when they work on them. And I think that is the greatest thing. And that is something that I work on to try to bring out so that the community that watches this podcast can hear the coaches who see them every day work, even in the off season, the work that's being put into what we see on the field. So thank you for taking the time to talk about your players. And we'll continue to do this next week. I'll have another player for a coach. And next week, coach, I'll text it to you a couple of days before so you know what's coming. But I think it's important. And again, the Lady Pirates, I do want to remind people it is still a work in progress. When you come see them, a lot of fun, but coach is putting some stuff in that it's going to take some time, but you heard him here, that defense, the light, the wheels are turning. I saw the energy. I saw what's, and I think coach really, the defense won us the game last night, in my opinion, right? Like that is what won us the game, in my opinion. They played great defense, got some shots when we needed it, but at the end, we were able to shut them down when we needed to get that win. So that was nice to see. And we'll see how we fare in this tournament. Coach, thank you very much for spending some time. I know it's been a long day. Coach will be back next Monday about 6 o'clock or so. He'll let me know. He might have another player or two come on. Maybe he won't. Sometimes they'll come on, sometimes they won't. But when they do, he'll let me know, and I'll let you guys know. And hopefully we can get some more girls to come on. I really like it when they come on and we can introduce them to the community. Coach, thank you very much. Good luck tomorrow in the Calallen tournament, but I'll give you the final word here. Anything you want to add before we let you go?
No, you guys, if you're in the Calallen area tomorrow, if you can make it, come join, come support. Girls really appreciate the fan support. It gets them really going and gets them pumped up and helps them move faster on the court. That's what we need, definitely. So it gets them, gives them a lot of energy to feed off of, and so we try to bring a lot of positive energy and get after a tail. So.
Absolutely. And I got to mention this because I love Coach Hostle's music that he plays during the intermission. That music is good. I'll tell you, I like to sit on the visitor side because I like for the camera to show the Rockport crowd. It's always pretty much packed. It's been very rare that I've gone to a volleyball or basketball game where the stands are not packed. I mean, that is a great thing to see. But then you see the people there from George West or from London, and they're playing that music and they're dancing a little bit and they're singing along. I'm just watching them, right? And so Coach also does a great job. That music that you can only catch it if you go to the game, but during the intermissions, man, he plays some really good 80s music if you like the 80s, but he mixes it in with other stuff. But that's really good to see Coach also playing that music. Some really good music he's playing. He's a very talented musician as well. I don't know if you knew that, Coach Gonzales, but
Oh yeah. We know all about Coach Hostel and his talents.
talents, yeah, kind of the talents outside of coaching if you've never seen them, but
Exactly.
he's a guy, and definitely a big part of the success that Rockport has had throughout the years. Coach, thank you very much. And if you cannot make it to Calallen, definitely there is a middle school game that'll be played tomorrow. So definitely keep an eye on social media, and if you can make it out there, that's just as important as varsity. Get out there and cheer our middle school on. That is our future. We want to be able to show the support and show the love for them as they continue to grow and get better. And they'll be on varsity in a couple of years. Coach, thank you very much. Safe travels. Good luck, and we'll talk to you next Monday.
All right. Thank you. All right. Good night. Bye-bye.